Hello and welcome to Live in Delight. This is Elizabeth Losi, your host and Akashic Record channel and Crystal Wisdom Keeper. This is a first for me. I've never allowed myself to be on camera while recording these transmissions. Today is the 2nd of June, 2024, and I'm coming in to share a message with you about today. Today's actually quite an important day astrologically. In fact, just a few minutes ago, Jupiter was trine Pluto. They're each at 1 degree of Gemini and Aquarius air signs. And so it seems really important to capture this energy so that you can come back and experience it, ground in it again, especially if you didn't consciously work with the energy when it was abundant on planet Earth. So I pulled crystals today for this transmission, and it was quite unusual because I only received two. I received an ocean jasper. It's this ocean jasper. It's a beautiful, beautiful stone that comes only from Madagascar. Ocean jasper is a stone that empowers the willpower center, your solar plexus. And it's a stone of self-acceptance, self-love, and self-forgiveness, just in case you find that there are things that you need to forgive yourself for. The other stone that came through was a chrysocolla. This is an example of chrysocolla. Also, you might have seen this one in some other videos and photos I've done. Chrysocolla is a high heart chakra stone, and it is all about making healing and sacred sounds. It's combining the energy of your heart with the energy of your voice to vocalize what needs to be vocalized. And oftentimes when I pull chrysocolla, I tell people that this is a really good time to howl like a wolf, because when you howl like a wolf, and it doesn't need to be loud, it doesn't need to be above your spoken volume. And if you're worried what other people will say, people in your house or your environs, your building, whatever, you can turn up some music and howl under that. And it just involves tilting your head back. I'm going to turn to the side a little bit. Tilting your head back and that's all there is to it. Howling like a wolf. And that I was purposefully being very quiet so that you could discern that, I'm not making a whole lot of noise. Chrysocolla is very healing. It brings the vibration of your voice into the world for you, your own healing, and for the healing of the community. And so what I find fascinating is that these two stones came on the 2nd of July, with two planets each at 1 degree of their air sign. So it's a trine, Jupiter trine Pluto. I'm not sure I said that correctly earlier, but it is Jupiter trine Pluto. Jupiter is the planet of expansion, and it's the greater benefic, so it brings good things, but also expansion, and so expanding whatever it touches. And Pluto is the god goddess of the underworld, um, the lord of death and rebirth, power, wealth, the mystery. And so, and these are both in air signs, which is all about thinking and voicing. And today's astrological signature also includes Mercury, which is the ruler of Gemini, where the Sun and Venus and Jupiter all are right now, um, uh, sextiling Neptune. Neptune is the ruler of Pisces. Neptune is in Pisces right now. Neptune is, the god goddess of the ocean, also the unconscious, also spirituality in general, and dreams. And so this is a time really to give voice to your dreams and to use your voice and your ideas to learn and to teach. It's a time to create understanding. It's a time to create wealth. It's a time to really meditate on how stepping into your power can empower others. And so that's what the energy of today, and also the signature of these crystals is bringing about. Just a healing that doesn't even have to be put into words, but the vibration of your voice is so important right now. Whether you're asking questions or guiding others, this is just a beautiful moment of empowerment. So I've already opened the records, and I haven't actually heard from the record keepers what today's topic is. Recently, I've just been playing with that, just saying, okay, I'm gonna roll with it. I'll pull some stones, and you tell us where to go. So yeah, this is my maiden voyage with cameras on, but I will turn my camera off now that I'll be channeling, but I'll see you at the end. So here goes. I'm going to turn off my video. So today's message from the Akashic Record Keepers is to really get comfortable putting words on what you need. Really get comfortable speaking up and speaking out. It could be that others in your world are afraid to say things. They're worried about what might happen to them or their family members or their loved ones in general if they speak out. Also, the keepers are pointing out that around the world, this is the beginning of Pride Month. And so it is really important to be able to speak to who you are and to own all your gifts, all your magic, even if society sort of frowns on that. And Elizabeth is speaking as someone who does not identify as hetero, but sort of more of a multiple. And the thing about this powerful trine between Jupiter and Pluto in air signs, with the additional support of Venus and the Sun and Mercury and Neptune, is that it's time to speak, use your words to sort of cast a spell on yourself and the world around you. Not some kind of evil spell, but a kind of manifesting spell. Like this is actually what I want in the world. Um, I am not asking for things that will hurt others. I'm asking for things that will help me and to help me help others. And this is really what I'm dreaming up. This is the world. I'm speaking the world into being, the world that I would like to live in. Speaking the world into being, that other people want to live in. There are a lot of people who are out there speaking the world into being that is very dark and scary and tinged with violence and control and oppression. And it's important at this moment in human history to say, you know what, that dark vision isn't necessarily everyone's vision. That's the vision of a lot of people who have the means to spew that energy out over the airwaves and um, hope to get their way. But that is the vision of about 10% of the world's population. So why are the other 90% allowing the 10% who are absolutely fearful and wanting to control others to uh, dominate the airwaves, to own the narrative and twist it to their own um, designs? Now, um, Elizabeth recently published um, one of these transmissions from a year ago on how to live in delight through change. And things are changing. Life on Earth, the gist of that is that life on Earth is all about change. And even time exists on planet Earth in order to be able to track change. So change is good. All change is good, even if changes look bad in the moment. All change is good. And it really is time for those who have sort of not felt they were powerful enough to make a difference to recognize that when they turn on their love light, it is so much more powerful than the fear that some are emitting. And planet Earth doesn't really want to go through another period of human darkness. She doesn't. And um, so this is an invitation to everyone to get clear on what world you want to live in. Open your heart. And opening your heart will light up your solar plexus. Open your heart. Forgive yourself for anything that you think you've done wrong or not enough of um, in this lifetime and other incarnations. And just go out with a trusting, open heart and speak your truth. Allow the vibration of your voice to vibrate out into the world and be a part of this death and rebirth experience. That there is no doubt that planet Earth is going through a massive shift, that the old patriarchal era is in its death throes. It would very much like to be reborn. And in some ways, it might look as though it is. And that is not necessarily true. There is so much opportunity for love to be reborn, for the coming age to be one of creativity and growth and curiosity and loving expression and healing and wonder and gratitude and gifts and expansion in all kinds of ways, particularly understanding and empathy. And it's up to you. If you want that, speak it into being. Don't think for a minute that your dreams are less than anyone else's dreams, less valuable, less worthy, less needed, less good, less important. They're not. Everyone's dreams are needed. Everyone's dreams. Especially if your dream includes empowerment for the planet, empowerment and healing for the oceans and the skies and the rivers and the mountains, any place on the planet where there is toxicity, any place on the planet where there is fear that can freeze people into submission, freeze people into kind of stasis that doesn't allow for momentum. This is the moment when it's important to speak out, to say, well, maybe you think that's what the world is about, but my opinion is just as valid as yours. And what I see when I look out my window are blue skies and smiling people and birds twittering and so much angelic intervention that it's silly to think that the world is a dark and hateful place. Parts of it, of course, do have shadow laid over, and we are not trying to besmirch the shadow. The shadow is necessary in order to be able to appreciate light. And there are forces out there that want to control. They want to control resources, and they have chosen to try to control through fear. And we invite you not to fall into that place of fear, but to instead go to love. Love for yourself, love for your family, love for your neighbors and your community. And in the interconnected world in which you now live, your community can be the entire world. And when you open your heart and you let the love and the light and the gratitude and the joy and the peace and the healing expression flow from your heart, your healed heart, even if you don't completely trust that your heart is healed, you say to yourself, well, I still have this and this and this and this that isn't entirely healed. That's okay. recognizing it doesn't mean that you haven't made immense strides towards healing. Open your heart. You have at least as much right to say what your dreams are for the world as somebody who owns a media company or someone who's a billionaire. And in fact, a simple smile or a greeting or a song has way more influence than propaganda. It might look on the surface that propaganda is winning, and yet all it needs is for human voices to rise together and say, you know what, that's really not the human dream right now. We've kind of lived through that dream, and now it's time for a new dream. It's time for a new dream. A dream where humans are not considering themselves superior to trees or rivers or animals, but are looking from a place of unity. Like, okay, if I make the world a better place for everyone around me, then it will also be a better place for me, a better place for my children, a better place for my children's 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 children. It's about paying it forward rather than trying to hoard resources and hoard goodness just for yourself. This is a moment of truth for the world. And humans, because you have fingers that can type on keyboards, and because you have voices that can say things, it's time for your voices to be heard, especially if you haven't been speaking out. And it doesn't mean you have to, publish a blog or a vlog or anything, but speaking to your neighbors, those that you suspect might think differently from you. Chances are they've been waiting for someone who has a different attitude to speak up and hold out a hand and say, hey, you know what? You don't have to live in the dark and the cold and the grip of fear. That's torture. Why don't you come out with me and walk in the sun, listen to the birds sing? Feel the goodness that's all around. Remind people they can choose. Remind yourself, first of all, that you can choose. Ask your heart what it chooses. Does it choose the torture of fear and hatred? Here's a secret. It's not really all that secret, but it's something that not everyone realizes, and that is that if you are inhumane to others, you become less than human. If you try to put others down to raise yourself up, you end up on the bottom, suffering. But if you raise others up and put a voice and a shoulder behind someone else's dream, a dream that you share, then things will move more quickly and more beautifully. That's really the promise of this moment right now. And this is a moment that is available to everyone listening. And that's the end of the transmission. We're leaving you on that note. Speak your dream out. Your voice is healing. It has power. It is important and valuable and more than valid. I'm going to close the Akashic records now. There's so much gratitude flowing out. Yeah, just do your part. It doesn't have to feel big. Although it might feel a little edgy at first. But the more you do it, the yummier it'll feel, the easier it gets, the more empowering it will be. It will feel delightful. This is how to live in delight in 2024. Speak your dream out into the world. Because right now is when it's being built. The next several thousand-year experience of humanity is being engineered and constructed right now. So, with gratitude, we'll close the records now by saying, oh, and call your spirit back wherever you are. Just out loud say, I call my spirit back. Perfect. Love for life and all it holds. We step into the world with love and joy. Amen. These records are closed. Again, I'm Elizabeth Losey of elizabethlosey.com. I hope you've enjoyed this message. Please share it or make a comment if you have a comment. Also, don't forget to drink plenty of water, do some stretches, maybe a warrior pose, drink some, I already said drink water, but eat some grounding foods. Wiggle your hips, stomp your feet, run your hands over the edges of your arms and legs to feel your body, get back into your body. Again, if you would like to work with me in your Akashic records or have me pull crystals especially for you, I'd love that. Thank you. And until next time, own your magic and don't forget to live in delight. Bye.